This is Bob Anderson, and I want to do my October 4th, 2022 trade update, my journey update. I'm seriously hoping, and I'm going to talk about this in a minute, but I'm seriously hoping today is a monumental day in my trading journey. And what I mean by that is I've done some evaluation of my trading. And I recognize, and the thing is as a trader, you need to continue to evaluate what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses, and you need to put your strategy around your strengths and your weaknesses, in my opinion. So let's talk about my strengths and let's talk about my weaknesses. I think my strength is I recognize good trades, which is important. At least simple good trades that I recognize, and when I'm in them, they either work or they don't, and I'm out. And therefore I'm very impatient when a trade doesn't work for me immediately. I get tense and nervous and want to be out of it, even if it's in profit. But it's in profit, a little bit. I just want to be out of it. So anyways, that's part of my weakness, and also with that weakness comes the fact that, even though I have a 10 contract account, I will never be trading 10 contracts, at least not the way I visualize my trading journey right now. So I talked about when I first did this first initial video, when I introduced myself, that I wanted to take some strategies that I had, apply it to a prop firm where I could get into it for limited money, be able to play my way through evaluations and whatnot, and hopefully get compensated for it, and at least keep my trading abilities from getting too rusty. So what I have done is I have accomplished that. It took me till my 4th funded account, but I got funded at the end of September, as we talked about, and I'm on my way to getting funded again for October, hopefully. So but one of the things I've recognized is that the amount of money that I have the time to sit here and trade and generate, because I do own my business and I am very busy. Just like yesterday, I took a trade, lost $100, and I was just done. I got too much going on. Mondays are horrible days for me to even think about trying to trade. So what I started realizing, because I've had a couple people message me and say, hey, why don't you do multiple accounts? Why don't you do this and that? So I start, and at first I downplayed it, because I'm like, well, I have a 10 contract account. I don't, if I want to trade more contracts, I can just trade more on my account. But then I went and did a little research on this, and I recognized, wait a second, multiple accounts means it's still just one contract on the account, as opposed to, say, 4 contracts on the account or 5 contracts on the account. So if you lose the trade, it's not, if you lose like a 2-point trade on 5 contracts, it's disseminated over, it's not $500 on your account, it's $500 across, say, 4 accounts. And also, and so I watched a video where somebody was talking about the power of having multiple accounts, and I started thinking about it. This was a while ago. I started thinking about it, and I went, holy crap, that kind of makes sense. So I bought the trade copier, trade duplicator, whatever you want to call it. I bought that a few weeks ago, and I started using it as with my SIM account. while I was trading my live account. And I realized that the day would go by and I completely forgot I was even trading the sim account. That's how powerful it was to me. Like, my mind was not recognizing if I took a 2-contract trade, I really was taking a 4-contract trade. And that's what's powerful for me, is because I know my weaknesses. My weakness is I can't think of all the money that's in the trade. I have to keep the dollars limited. And some people say, well, just show points on your screen, you know. And I'm like, well, that's great too, but I'm very good at math. Like, I do the math very quick. I already know what the dollars are. Anyways, my point is this. What I did is I finally bit the bullet. And this morning at about 8 o'clock, I got up and bought 4 evaluation accounts. And I bought the small ones. I bought the $25,000 ones. And there's 2 reasons why I did that. One is, again, I don't see myself really ever trading more than 2 or 3 contracts in an account anyways. At least not this stage of my trading journey. Number 2, it'll take some stress off of me about making the $1,500 limit in 10 days. Because again, I can't have evaluation accounts drag me down from my live account, because nothing's more important at this stage of my trading journey than my 4th funded live account that's active now. Nothing's more important than that. So these need to be out of sight, out of mind. And so I don't want stress that I have to get $3,000 or $4,000 or $5,000 in these accounts. I don't want to have to worry about, whatever, where I am with them and whatnot. And now that I better comprehend the trailing stop issue, I realize that the high water mark is set once, and as long as I don't go over it, it's not following me. Anyways, my point is, I bought 4 accounts this morning, and I tied them to my live funded account. And then I took my trades, and up here is my results. So let's talk about that. First trade, as usual, I lost 2.5 points. It was a gold line trade on the 1-minute chart. I don't talk about it in this group because it is a much more aggressive trade. I don't talk about it in this group. It's not one I've ever divulged. Anyways, second trade was a continuation trade. I got 4.5 points on it. The third trade was a 5-minute gold line trade, and I got 5 points in it. I think I got the 5 points in like 2 minutes. The second trade, I got that in like 3 minutes. The first trade, I was out in the first minute. I lost my 2.5 points. It just blew right through me. Anyways, the net results was basically my live funded account increased $362.50. But here's the power of the whole thing. Out of sight, out of mind, my trade copier was working behind the scenes. And account number 1 of my evaluations was $437.50. Account number 2 of my evaluations is $437.50. Account number 3 was $437.50. Account number 4 was $462.50. It just happened to be, those are the dollar amounts based on when the trades got executed from the copier of my main account. That's a total of $2,137. I say this because $300 is $360 is good money. But $2,100 is really good money. To only have to do this, if this is what my mind can handle, and this is what's going on behind the scenes, I now am compensating myself for my efforts without stressing myself out in the process. So this is what I'm trying to attempt in my next phase of my trading journey. So anyways, I only need to get $1,500 in these accounts. $1,500. I got to trade 10 days. If I get the $1,500 before the 10 days, I'm going to unlink these accounts from my primary account. And I'm just going to dick and dunk them. I'm going to link them all together, just dick and dunk them to get trading days. If, you know, as I've done before, just get enough trading days, because that's what's important, is to get the 10 trading days. If I do all this, I'm going to be out of town on Friday. Hopefully that means I'll hit my 10th trading day by the 18th of October. Probably means I could possibly be live with these 4 accounts by the 20th. Again, these are all just hopes right now. But if I can do that, and I can tie these 4 accounts live to that one, and my little efforts of trading turns into real profit, that's a much different situation than I currently am in. But anyway, so let me just show you my 3 trades. The first 2 are on my 1-minute chart, and my last one was on my 5-minute chart. But I'm going to show it to you on my 1-minute chart and my 5-minute chart for a reason. So let me get my chart over here. Let me get this set up. All right, here we go. If everybody kind of remembers, this morning the market just ran. I mean, it just ran. It just ran up and really didn't give any opportunities for entries. There was no pullbacks. The pullbacks never got into, this is the blow up right here. The pullbacks never got into the gold line. And then when this one did get into the gold line, it got in this time frame right here, which this was news. There was all the news for the day was at 10. So I can't trade. I just can't put myself in a situation where the news is gonna, now granted the trade worked, but again, there's news. So anyways, here's what I did. Here are the trades I took with my live funded account. My trade copier doesn't post on here. I wonder if it does if I pick one of my accounts. Let me see here. Yeah, hey, there it is. There's my trade copier. So my trade copier does, for each one of the accounts, it does put it on there. That's good news. Didn't know that. All right, so anyways, here's my live funded account, which is what I was actually using to take these trades. So this line was up further, this one right here, this gold line, and I was trying to take a gold line touch, and then I was going to do a continuation break of whatever candle it was that set. Long story short, came down, took me out. Then we had a long candle down and then a rotation up. And I was like, oh crap. And I missed it. I was on the phone. And so I was like, damn, the entry was 37. See, in the top of this candle right here, the top is 37. The one tick above is 3790.75. So I said, crap. And so I grabbed my buy from the bottom, ran it up to there, and prayed that it would at least come down and grab me and then go, which is what it did. And then I started following the bottom of the candle. Somehow this turned out being my fill. I think it was filled in here, not here. I think this is off by 1. But anyway, so here's a 2.5 point loss. Here's my 2 contract long that got me the 4.5 points. And then that was basically it for my 2 trades on my 1-minute chart. None of this stuff happened until after 10 o'clock. The market just ran. So the first 30 minutes, all you were doing was chasing it. In my trading strategy, you would have just been chasing it, which I'm not going to chase trades. I can't do that. because then you're buying out in limbo. So anyways, let's go over here, and I'm going to show you my next trade, which is right here. Okay, now, this is the gold line. The trade is really over here. The trade is really over here on the gold line off the 5-minute chart, okay? But it was a violation of my rules, and I'm going to show you. And so I took it very conservatively. See, here was our pivot high, rotation down, rotation up. We never broke the pivot over here. And then we pulled back, okay? By the way, this never did touch the gold line. This gold line was way down here. This candle never came down and hit this gold line. So in my real world, not because this pulled up further, this was actually the first touch of the gold line after this market massive run. So what I decided to do, okay, so recognize this. This is at 10:50 in the morning, okay? So recognize that when I bring you back over to the 1-minute chart. I'm going to show you what I did. I watched it come down on the 1-minute chart, and I watched it bottom out right here on this candle, right here. It bottomed out at 37.88. Okay, the entry is 37.88.75. So what I did is I did a buy stop from up here, and I dragged it down, and I waited for this candle right here to go back down and touch the bottom again. And then I bought right there when it came back up. And I put my stop right there. So my stop was 1 point. That's it. 1 point. Okay? That was it. I was going to allow myself to lose 1 point because on my my strategy, on my view of looking at this was technically the first touch of the gold line on the long side. So I was going to give it its merit that it was going to work, even though the pattern back to it was not the pattern I was looking for. But I was willing to risk 1 point, and it was getting late. I mean, it's 10:40. When I entered this trade, it was 10:47. I got in, it dilly-dallied around right here, and then once it took off, boy, it took off. I mean, bam, bam, 5 points, and I was out. And let's just kind of look at one of these others here. Yeah, they're and that's where my other stuff went too. So those are my 3 trades. Those are the trades that got me my 7 points. But hopefully, 10, 15 trading days from now, that simplicity of what I just did there, 1 contract on the first trade, 2 contracts on the second, 1 contract on the third. Hopefully that simplicity of what I did right there and those simple trades that I took won't make me $362, but $2,100. And that is a game changer. Anyways, that's my update for today. Another thing is I have had, gosh, I can't tell you how many people I've had message me. I had one guy message me yesterday that he used my strategy. He didn't tell me what trades he took, didn't tell me his contract size or anything like that, but he made $2,800 using the strategies. I had another guy message me today talking about this 5-minute gold line being just magic. And I'm like, yeah, that actually is, because the reaction happens at that gold line almost every time, where you can manage the trade and keep yourself in position to get a big trade. The problem lately for me has been the movement in the market has been so great to the upside or so great to the downside that the first time it ever gets to the gold line on the 5-minute chart, it's been way past 10:30. But anyways, it's a great trade. When it lays itself out, it's a great trade. Anyways, everybody, have a good day. And again, keep your stops tight and stay on the right side of the market. Talk to you later. Bye.